Okay, so before we start classes and objects, and really object-oriented programming, we'll do a problem using only the things we already know. And so, say the program we want to make is a video game where you have a player. So let's just say player name, Billy, and say it's a survival game. So we can say player age or how long the person survived for. Um, Also exists. So age is 0 because let's just say you just started to play the game. And usually survival games have hunger associated with it. And let's just say you start with hunger 10. And there's also player health. And let's just say it's full health, so also 10. Now, what we can do is we can create a function that prints the status of our player. And so the function has to take in a name, who are we talking about, their age, their hunger, and their health, and it's going to just print this whole thing. And so yeah, now we just want to print all of this information. So what we can do is we can print the status, and we want to put player name into it. We want to put player age into it, player hunger, and player health. Now if I run it, okay, okay, perfect. So this tells us that we're dealing with Billy. Uh, and the current status is age 0, health is 10, hunger is 10, whatever. Okay, cool. Now let's just say that you also have a different player. You have your friend. So let's just say player 2, your friend Bobby, now joins you. So we have to create this entire new player with all the appropriate variables. Now, if I want to print out Bobby's status, well, I can just take this function, copy paste it down here, but now I change the variables. And now if I print this, or I guess start this, we get both of their statuses, which is okay. I mean, it's kind of annoying. I mean, to have, every time you have a new player, to have to write all of these variables. Now, what if in your game you could have a mechanic where when you eat, okay, so one of the players eats, their hunger goes up. So let's just make a function right away for that. I mean, what we could do is just say player underscore hunger equals player underscore hunger plus however much we want to give them. But let's just make a function for this. And so now, if I run the code, nothing happens. I just made a function. But now what I can do is I can say, okay, well, what if player 1 or Billy, what if Billy eats? Well, then I have to say, okay, well, eat, and who's eating? Well, player 1 is eating, so player underscore hunger. Okay, but eat, like this function right here, eat, we're not really changing a variable, we're returning a variable. So what we have to do is we have to say, okay, well, player underscore hunger, which is the hunger of Billy, is equal to the increase of his hunger. And already this is getting super messy, which is what classes and objects will really take care of. Okay, but the point is, if you're confused, that's perfect, because this is confusing, and it's kind of weird doing it this way. But anyway, now if I run the code, I will see that nothing happens because we are still not printing the status. So if I just reprint our status after Billy eats, we will see that Billy's hunger is now 13. It was 10 initially, then Billy ate, and now it's 13. Now this is getting confusing. There's a lot of code. It's kind of spaghetti. And I guess you can only imagine what would happen if you had more players, right? If you had player 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I mean, this would be way too many players. You would have just too many lines of code just declaring the players. And so that's kind of where classes come in. Especially when every single player pretty much has the same attributes, right? Like every player has a name, every player has an age, hunger, health. Um, it's just that all these values are changing. So like the blueprint of a player, or the attributes that a player has is name, age, hunger, and health. But a specific player will have specific values, with like Bobby or Billy, player age, so 0, 10, whatever. Those are specific to that specific player. But the structure of a player, so this, all of these are they're the same. And so when that's the case, that's really when you should be creating classes and then creating objects. So let's see an example that hopefully will make this be have a little bit more sense.